My brothers and sisters, I come to you today with a message of the utmost urgency. What I'm about to tell you is not a theory nor a hunch, much less a technological prediction. It's a warning coming from above, and ignoring it will be a mistake that many will not be able to undo. I didn't come here to entertain, nor to speculate. I came because I received something that burns in my spirit. And when God delivers a message, those who are afraid do not keep it to themselves. Therefore, I ask you to listen until the end. This message is not just for the curious, it is for those who discern the times. Something is about to happen, and the first tremors have already begun to be felt. The fall of global platforms was not by chance. It was not a technical error. It was the first trumpet blast. On March 27th, two of the largest digital portals on the planet failed without a convincing explanation. Reddit and the old Twitter, now called X. Thousands of people were disconnected in a matter of seconds. The whole world watched, confused, without understanding. But this was not a simple system blackout. It was a silent signal for those who are watching. In the same period, the most used artificial intelligence in the world, the one that many treat as a modern oracle, also fell silent. ChatGPT has gone silent. And meanwhile, even the U.S. Baseball League, Major League Baseball, suffered a blackout. Coincidence? For the distracted, perhaps. But for those with eyes to see, it was just the beginning. What is approaching is something that will shake not only technological structures, but also the faith of many. A global digital meltdown. 10 whole days of darkness. No internet, no communication, no benches, no government functioning normally. 10 days where the modern world will prove what it built with so much pride. An empire based on wires, data, and zeros. And when all this falls, it will be too late to go back. It will be like a tsunami that was already on the horizon, but that most people ignored because they were too distracted by their own reflections on the screen. This warning did not come from systems analysts or cybersecurity experts. It came from someone bigger, a messenger of war, guardian of the people of God, St. Michael the Archangel. He who fights against evil in the heavens now sends a direct warning to earth. And if you don't believe it, at least listen, because divine warnings never come with applause, but always with opportunity. Opportunity to prepare, to wake up, to choose which side you will be on when the light goes out. The chaos that will come will not just be physical, it will be spiritual, and only those who are founded on the rock will not be shaken. The gears of the modern system are built like a digital castle, an invisible temple where man has placed all his faith. Banks, social networks, markets, artificial intelligence, all of this will be touched. And the people who forgot to look up will see where their trust ended up. When cell phones are just useless pieces of glass and metal, and computers become dead weights on tables without power, the question that will echo will be, what now? But those who listened, those who prepared with discernment, will know that this was inevitable. Not a punishment, but a call to conscience. You were not created to rely on cables, passwords, or screens. You were created to live in spirit and truth. And God, in His mercy, is allowing this shock to restore what was lost. There's still time. Little, but there is. You are listening now because you can still act. You can still pray. You can still organize. You can still protect your family. Don't wait for the blackout to realize that the true light doesn't come from the screen, but from God. The first warning has already been given, and whoever listens chooses not to be taken by surprise. It won't just be the digital world that goes dark, it will be people's hearts. When the internet goes down for 10 days, the first screams will not come from the lack of light, but from the lack of direction. Young people who live online will feel like orphans of a father who never existed. Adults who feed their addictions on screen will go into spiritual withdrawal. And those who thought they were strong will discover that their strength was in distractions. This collapse will be external, yes, but the first crack will occur within the souls of the unprepared. And it won't be the devil who does this. It will be God allowing man to see the void he built with his own hands. For years we have been taught that progress is digital, that connection is a sign of evolution. But no one talked about the price of that. Families stopped talking to each other, children stopped listening to their parents, and the silence became an unbearable discomfort. When the nets fall and infinite scrolling disappears, many won't know where to hide from their own conscience. It will hurt, because what is inside each one will be revealed. No filters, no distractions, and the worst thing is that many will realize that they were already dead inside, even with a full signal and strong Wi-Fi. This period will be like a desert without digital voices, without blue light from cell phones, without the illusion of constant presence. The desert reveals, the desert purifies, but the desert also drives those without direction crazy. You will see people despairing about not being able to post, respond, buy, pay, transfer, watch. You will see adults crying because they cannot access their bank balance. You will see leaders panicking because they have lost control, but he will also see a chance to start over. Eye-opening, to return home, to God, to what really matters. Many will look for culprits. Some will accuse hackers, others will say it is cyber warfare. Others will talk about a technical error, but those who have discernment will know. This is not human. This is spiritual. It's not just a system crash. It's a sign, a prophetic warning, a crack allowed by God to rock those still sleeping. The Lord is allowing modern idols to crumble before the eyes of humanity. And when the excuses start flying, you will remember this message. You'll remember that you were warned, and that He was chosen to prepare beforehand. Hospitals will suffer, healthcare systems that rely on everything online will be exposed, pharmacies, supermarkets, banks, transport, everything is blocked. But the deepest chaos will not be in the streets. You will be in the living rooms, in the apartments, in the rooms, because silence will invade homes and expose the distances that were already there. Couples who got used to living under the same roof without looking each other in the eye, parents and children who only communicated via messages, all of this will be put to the test, and there will be no psychologist, coach, or influencer who can solve it. Only God. Therefore, this will not just be a crisis, it will be a sieve, a filter, a divider. Whoever is grounded in the Word will resist. Whoever has a relationship with God will endure. But those who live off digital appearance, online reputation, the illusory control of modern routine, will feel the ground disappear. This collapse will be a mirror, and many will see themselves for the first time as they really are, fragile, proud, and far from the faith they say they have. But there is still time. And if you got this far, it wasn't for nothing. The Spirit of God is calling you back. Do not ignore this call. Everything that modern man called advancement will be tested by fire. Technology that once seemed unshakable will fail. The machines will shut up. The servers will go down. The clouds where they deposited documents, passwords, memories, and even prayers, everything will disappear. And when that happens, the eyes of the world will be wide, but not in faith, but in fear. The 10-day collapse will not be an ordinary outage. It will be a demolition of the digital pillars on which the entire system was built. There will be no email. There will be no Google. There will be no backup that can handle what is to come. The banks will be the first to shake. Digital money will become useless in seconds. Those who live on credit will be left without access. Transactions will stop. Stock markets will plummet. Entrepreneurs who thought they were gods of their own digital kingdoms will discover that their throne was made of fragile data. When people try to withdraw their own money and fail, panic will spread faster than any virus. But those who heard, those who believed and prepared, will have something that others do not: peace, because they already understand that this collapse is not an end. It is a correction. Modern idolatry is no longer in stone altars, but in signal towers. The world has folded in front of applications, algorithms, and artificial intelligence. He placed his faith in invisible cables, secret servers, and companies that don't know their names. The generation that stopped bending its knees before God began to bow its neck at every notification. And now the Lord is allowing all of this to fall apart, not for revenge, but for mercy, because He loves so much that He is willing to shake everything that distracts, everything that imprisons, everything that pushes away, Imagine hospitals without access to medical records, ambulances without a system, clinics stopped, people in queues confused, without service because the data disappeared. Now think about supermarkets, online orders stuck, cashiers not working, disorganized stocks. And chaos expands like fire, because everything today is done with one click. And when the click no longer works, who even knows what to do? That's the test. A test that was not designed by hackers or governments. It was released by heaven to reveal who stands firm on the rock and who built on the sand of digital control. And don't be surprised if the authorities show up saying everything is under control. They will invent names, explanations, perhaps even culprits. They will say it was a coordinated attack, which they are working to resolve. But that will just be a distraction, because what is breaking is not a system. It's false confidence. What is being revealed is that humanity created a God who does not speak, does not hear, and now does not respond. The Internet, the greatest idol of our time. And this modern God will fall with a crash. And many will see that they were never truly connected, just deluded. But there will be remnants. And you can be one of them. Because whoever understands time moves before the earthquake. This is the time to act. It's not time to panic. It's time to position yourself. With each strange news, with each system failure, understand. The sky is signaling. And if the heavens are screaming, God's children cannot nap. This is the time to wake up. Of storing what is necessary, yes, but above all, to strengthen what is eternal. Your faith, your family, His communion with the Lord. For everything that is shakeable will be shaken, and only what is eternal will remain. Modern man believes he has everything under control. You think you master time, that you know everything that happens in real time, that you will never be caught by surprise. There are apps to predict the weather, to monitor your health, to track your children, to invest money while you sleep. But none of these systems will warn you when God decides to stop everything. No notification will arrive. No alarms will go off. And when the servers go down, everyone will realize the obvious. We never had control of anything. It was just a comfortable illusion, supported by a fragile network, ready to burst. People have become accustomed to living under the protection of data, satellites, passwords, and algorithms. But they forgot that there are forces greater than technology. When collapse comes, despair will come with it. Many will rush to the banks, the markets, the hospitals, and find doors closed or systems down. But those who will really feel the weight of the collapse are those who place their security in invisible files and glowing screens. They will not be lost due to lack of food or water. They will be lost because they no longer know how to live without the digital comfort that protected them from the real world. And this is where panic turns into chaos. Because society was not taught to wait. She was trained for instant responses, immediate solutions, immediate comfort. When all this is stripped away, what will be left will be an emotionally unprepared crowd. People who don't know how to pray, who don't know how to reflect, who have never faced silence without going crazy. And it is in this silence that God will speak to those who can still hear. A heavy, dense silence. No notifications, no short videos, no messages. Just the soul, and what it still carries inside. The families that survive this time well will not be the richest or most technological. They will be the most united. Those who still dine at the same table. Those who talk looking into each other's eyes. Those that didn't replace their presence with emojis. The collapse will reveal that the greatest treasure is not access to the bank, but access to the heart. And whoever has sown love will reap peace. But those who lived on appearances, on likes, on distractions, will see their world fall apart. Because when the scenario collapses, only those who have deep roots survive. And these roots are not digital. They are spiritual. Authorities will try to contain the panic with control. Curfews, restrictions, curfews, perhaps even military measures under the pretext of restoring order. But make no mistake, the real lack of control will not be in the streets, but in the minds. The world will find itself in a maze of uncertainty. And in this maze, Everyone will be forced to find their own center. The answer will no longer be in Google, nor in influencers, nor in political leaders. It will be about returning to the Creator, back to promises, back to the Word. Because what comes will be beyond logic. You need to decide now where you will anchor your faith, because when the lights go out and the system crashes, there will be no time to look for the Bible, to try to remember verses, to improvise fasting. Either you will be ready or you will be shocked. The world will seem to fall apart, but God will sustain His own. Those who have heard, hear. The time has come to stop depending on the system and depend on God again. The breakdown will reveal what you always had inside, and this will be more important than any technology ever created. God does not allow a shake like this without purpose. This collapse will be a calling, but not everyone will listen. Some will despair, others in denial. Many will laugh, mock, and continue saying that it is just a technical failure, a temporary problem. But those who have discernment will know. They will feel in their spirit that something greater is happening, and while the world runs after human explanations, those who know the voice of God will stop, will be silent, and will understand. This is a warning, a call to return, and whoever listens will never be the same. This time without internet will be a test to prove where our faith, our identity, our security lies. And those who are approved will not be those who stored the most things, but those who stored the most truth. They will have learned to live without relying on the constant stream of distractions. They will have learned to seek God without intermediaries. While the world is in crisis, these will be in prayer. While others freak out about not being able to access the digital world, God's children will be on their knees, accessing the throne of grace. Families will be forcibly restored. Homes that have become accustomed to uncomfortable silence will be forced to talk. The children who lived isolated in their rooms will leave. Husbands hiding behind screens will have to look their wives in the eye. Love will be proven in the absence of distractions, and many will rediscover the value of presence. The collapse will be like an earthquake that knocks down everything superficial, but preserves what is rooted in the love of Christ. And whoever takes advantage of this time to reconnect with their loved ones will come out stronger than when they entered. This will be the time to open the Bible and no longer the browser. It will be time to seek the Word instead of looking for answers in the search engine. It will be a time to fast, to pray, to sing praises without worrying about posting anything about it. The world will be silent, and in that silence God will speak. It will remind everyone that He never got out of control, that even in the dark He sees, that even without a signal He responds, that even without light He is the light. Those who trust in Him, even without understanding everything, will be sustained, because their faith will not be in servants, but in the Savior. But those who scoff at this time will miss the chance to align themselves with what God is doing. Many will spend these days as if they were just a forced vacation. They will wait for the system to return to continue with their lives the same way. And when everything returns to normal, they will also return to blindness. They will ignore the warning. They will laugh at their own anguish. They will try to forget the discomfort they felt. And they will continue as if nothing had happened. But you, who have been warned, cannot act like this. You can't go back to sleep, because the collapse was not the end. It was just the beginning. This call is for the vigilantes, for those who are not used to the comfort zone, for those who understand that when the world is silent, heaven is about to speak. Don't waste these days. Use them to cleanse your home, your soul, your relationships. Ask for forgiveness. Forgive, pray, read, sing, hug. Teach your children to pray. Get back to the essence, because what comes next will be even more challenging. But those who listen now will be ready. And when the next crisis comes, because it will come, these will not be shaken. There will be columns. They will be light. They will be an answer. When the 10 days pass, the world will return to a semblance of normality. The websites will work. The apps will load. Social media will be back. And experts will emerge like inverted prophets, explaining everything with technical words, complicated terms, colorful graphics. They will say it was a cyber attack, an infrastructure problem, a system failure. They will say that everything is resolved, that life goes on, that there is no reason to fuss. But you will know, because you lived, because you saw it, because you felt it, and you will understand that it was not a failure. It was a message. The greatest tragedy of these 10 days will not be the chaos. It will be oblivion. Many will return to screens like a dog returns to vomit. They will return to the distractions, the noise, the rush, as if nothing had happened. They will laugh at their own despair, play with the panic they felt, make jokes online, as if mocking what they experienced was a way of proving that they overcame it. But inside, they will remain empty, because they didn't take advantage of the silence. They didn't take advantage of the chance, and God doesn't waste signs. If He silenced the world for 10 days, it was because something eternal was being said. This will be the moment of decision. You will choose between two paths. Either go back to living as before, or decide to change for good. Either you surrender again to the digital system and its vices, or you choose to build your life on the rock. God is not asking you for an emotional reaction. He is calling you to a definitive position, because the collapse was just the first touch. Others will come, and each of them will be stronger, and each one will require more faith, more discernment, more firmness. If you don't decide now, you may not have another opportunity. Why the next test could be final. Those who have learned from silence will become pillars, spiritual leaders in their homes, references of peace amidst the noise of the world. They will teach others to prepare, not just with food and radios, but with prayer, fasting, the Word, communion. They will be those who go against the system, those who no longer live by the logic of the world, but by the direction of the Spirit. They will be those who, even when everything seems normal, live as if they already know that time is short, that judgment approaches, that the separation of the faithful has already begun. This digital collapse is a mirror of what is happening in the spiritual world. The network has been shut down, but the skies are still connected. Men were silent, but God spoke loudly. And the question that echoes at the end of these days is not technical, political, or scientific. It is spiritual. Did you understand the message? Are you going to pretend nothing happened? Or will you align your life with God's will? Will you continue to depend on the system? Or will you live by faith, with your eyes on high, with your feet on the Word, and with your heart ready for whatever comes? Now the world will go on as if nothing had happened, but not you, because those who heard it can no longer pretend they didn't hear it. Whoever saw it can no longer close their eyes. This message was not just a warning, it was a calling, and there are only two answers: obedience or rebellion. The choice is before you. The world is on the brink of judgment, but those who stand in God will not be shaken. May you be one of those who remain. May you be ready. May you remain steadfast, because the next silence could be eternal, and those who are in Christ will be at peace.